A&P up here.
Welcome to Freedom Watch Afghanistan. I'm Staff Sergeant Trevor Pedro. Afghan and NATO forces started an offensive Wednesday to clean up the villages masked by Taliban fighters near Kandahar city. Fighting has already resulted in the death of more than 20 militants. An Afghanistan Defense Ministry spokesman said the Afghan National Army began cleanup operations in the area with hundreds of Afghan Army soldiers backed by NATO forces. The need for more NATO troops in Afghanistan, especially in the south, is still a high priority, and Denmark has offered its help. The government of Denmark presented a 4-year strategy for its involvement in Afghanistan, indicating it would send 85 more soldiers to southern Afghanistan's Helmand province to help stabilize and support the Afghan government's authority. That brings the total number of Danish troops to 750. In addition to the troop increase, the Danish government said it would increase aid to Afghanistan from $41 million to $50 million in the next 3 years. With operations and temperatures heating up in Afghanistan, fire bases and outposts have become a valuable commodity. They provide a hop-off point and a safe haven for troops in the field. Army Sergeant Pat Malone takes us to eastern Afghanistan, where soldiers are braving the elements to stand up the latest base.
173rd Airborne Brigade engineers and Afghan construction workers are breaking ground and building a vehicle patrol base in Nangarhar Province's Achin district. The VPB will be a fortified lookout for security forces traveling through Achin. The area is a known narcotics and weapons supply route for enemies crossing into Afghanistan. Leaders spent 2 months of planning and $5,000 to turn this idea into reality, but they've only broken ground on what lies ahead of them. The team will have to overcome a few obstacles along the way.
Right now we're coming in with the ground is really rocky, so it's a little harder to dig. That's going to really slow us down a little bit. And then now, it's getting into the summer, the heat's really putting a number on us too.
That heat scorches the crew at over 120 degrees throughout the week. Afghan construction workers bring in a pallet of water to battle the sun and a bulldozer to tear the place apart. Soldiers supervise a forklift operator unloading hundreds of feet of sharp concertina wire. The wire will wrap around the base's perimeter. The VPB took 6 days from start to finish. U.S. forces will turn over the combat outpost to Afghan National Police, so the Afghans have an advantage over anyone who tries to sneak through their backyard. Army Sergeant Pat Malone, Achin District, Afghanistan.
Air power is a major key to mission success in Operation Enduring Freedom. The ability to provide cover and close air support for troops on the ground adds another element to the fight. Senior Airman Rob Joswiak takes an inside look at those munitions and the airmen who put them together.
These structural maintenance or bomb building airmen work to the sound of some rock and roll and to the tune of 36 bombs built in about 4 hours. The process starts with them unpacking all of the components and preparing them for the assembly line. Next, they load the bombs on the Munitions Assembly Center, or MAC, using a hydraulic pulley system which can
lift 3 500-pound bombs or one 2,000-pound bomb onto the MAC. Usually we can fit about 24 to 26 Mark 82s on the MAC itself.
Now that the bombs are in place, it's time for the front collar and retaining ring to go on. The 5 to 7 person crew continues by getting the guts of the bomb, or fuse, power cables, and proximity sensor into place. For the crew chief of this build, attention to detail is the #1 priority.
If we don't use it, the munition gets up on an aircraft and it drops and nothing happens, it's a dud. People could die over it. We're out there supporting close air support for the Army troops, so every step of this is absolutely critical.
So after a little alignment and quality control, it's time for the final piece, the Joint Direct Attack Munitions, or JDAM fin kit. After that, the bombs are loaded onto a trailer and a bobtail comes and picks them up and takes them to storage or the flight line depending upon where they're needed. Reporting from Bagram Airfield, I'm Senior Airman Rob Joswiak.
That's all for this edition. You can watch our program anytime online. Just go to PentagonChannel.mil and click on Freedom Watch Afghanistan. From all of us stationed out of Bagram Airfield, I'm Staff Sergeant Trevor Pedro. Thanks for watching.